Hello again, fellow YouTubers and fellow Bond fans. Solomon Pleasant back for another James Bond movie review. As I've said in my other reviews, please give us comments about what you want to do to try to change our name, because we are still trying to do that. So, suggestions are always approved. Anyway, so, today's movie review is, the last film where we have Pierce Brosnan in it. And to be fair, I'm kind of sad about that, because I really like Bronson as a Bond actor. I think he does a really good job as pulling off Bond, as he's shown in his other movies. And while Daniel Craig does do a good job, and Roger Moore has a ton of them, and Sean Connery is the best, Pierce Brosnan is my second favorite Bond. I think he does a little bit well. And this film that I'm about to review is no exception. As I get further into the review, I'm gonna state why, but, Die Another Day. I have watched a lot of people doing reviews, top 10s, worst and best, and whenever it comes to stuff about Bond, especially, scenes involving Bond, or just movies involving Bond in general, this one seems to come up as one that a lot of Bond fans seem to not like. Whereas there are, for me, a bunch that are not as good as this one, and I hate to date this video as well, and I hate to give some spoilers, but technically this is the next one I'm doing, so I guess it really doesn't matter. I can acknowledge, like, Quantum of Solace, and they compare that in this film to be equally bad, but, I like this film. I like Die Another Day. I enjoy watching it. It is one of my personal favorites. Is it up there with Goldfinger and GoldenEye? Yes. Is it right near with them? Maybe? For some reason, a lot of people don't like Die Another Day, and part of me feels concerned about that, as I am someone who does like that film. So, without further ado, let's dive right into Die Another Day. As always, we start with story, and I like the story for this. It is really good. Does it kind of rip off Diamonds Are Forever? Yeah, it kind of does, but it does it in a way that's... Okay, it's not that different from Diamonds Are Forever, but hey, if something's not broke, don't fix it. If it's not broken, don't fix it. It's simple. And the whole story actually works really well, despite what some people will say. I like and I'll get into characters later, but the whole plot twist plot twists are pretty good in this film. And the story in general, I have nothing really much to say because I really like it. It does well. And it's hard when I have not much to say when I'm trying to defend this film, but I just like it. So for that reason, I give story a star. Because I like the story. I do. Moving on to scenery, and this is, I guess, where I can address one of the biggest things that people complain about when it comes to this film. I think I just cut myself out. Scenery, again, I really like it. The Ice Palace looks amazing. The action sequences are delivered really well. The final plane scene, I think, is a really good action scene. Is it one of the best? No, but it's still really good. The whole car chase with, Bond versus Zhao, who we'll talk about in characters. Really well. Ah, crap, I am bleeding. That's not good. Okay, let's address the biggest problem people have with this film. The windsurfing scene. And and one of the reasons why a lot of people have a problem with this scene is because it's very CGI-ish. And for a lot of people, it doesn't do well for them. For me, though, I personally don't have a problem with it. I know, shocker. Honestly, for me, when it comes to CGI, good or bad, I never really tend to notice, to be totally honest. And that's mainly because I'm not like a major critic like some of these other people, but when I witnessed the windsurfing scene for the first time, I was just like, okay. Was I like super excited, and then when I found out it was all CGI, was I really upset? No, because honestly, at one point I realized, okay, he can't really honestly be doing this. This has to be CGI, and for that, I think it's okay. I mean, it's a Bond stunt, so you have to take it with a grain of salt sometimes. When it comes to the whole James Bond series, sometimes you gotta take things with a grain of salt, guys. I mean, come on. There are some things that are unexcusable, like George Lazenby as James Bond in one of the more important James Bond films. That's not as excusable, but this, I can forgive it. I can forgive it for being crappily CGI'd, because for me, I really don't notice it that much, and it doesn't ruin the film for me. So scenery as it goes, I think is a really well put together, really well done, and for that, I give it a star. You can leave your hate mail below in the comments. Anyway, moving on to theme. Wait, no, follow-up. I haven't done this for a while. I really gotta start doing these more often. Follow-up. This follows up World Is Not Enough pretty well, because to be honest, World Is Not Enough, I felt had some problems. Die Another Day? I didn't see those same problems. And that's one of the main things I look for in follow-up. When it comes to follow-up, in order to get a star, you need to not have the same problems as the last film, or flat out just smash the last film, like Goldfinger did to From Russia with Love, or GoldenEye did to License to Kill. And Die Another Day, I like it way more than The World Is Not Enough. That's just one of my things. Hopefully, angry reviewers are not trying to bust down my door while I'm trying to record this. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But, yeah, as a follow-up, I like Die Another Day way better. Hopefully people aren't trying to bust down the door. So, having that said, follow-up, star. What more can I say? Moving on to theme song. I like the Die Another Day theme. Some people don't like it because it's Madonna, but personally, I like it. Is it one of my personal favorite songs? No. No, it's not. But is it bad? Like For Your Eyes Only, or The Man with the Golden Gun, or Moonraker? No, it's way better than those, because at least it's upbeat, and the credits that are rolling by as they're doing this is actually really visually interesting. So, for that reason, I give theme song a star. I mean, it does a really good job as a theme song. I really like it. Finally, moving on to characters. Pierce Brosnan says James Bond. Good job. Bond girls. Halle Berry as Jinx. Okay. I didn't see that one coming, but Halle Berry does an okay job. I mean, I don't see her doing anything that's necessarily bad. I mean, she doesn't do anything bad. Unlike some of the other Bond girls, you have to admit she at least does an okay job as a Bond girl. And as that, I can't remember, Miss Frost or something, she does a good job as a Bond girl / Bond villain. She does a pretty good job. Spoilers. Villain. Colonel Moon slash Gustav Graves, considering, again, spoilers, and he's the same person, he does a good job as a Bond villain. I think he does. Because he just delivers it very well, and delivers some of the best one-liners I've ever seen from Bond villains. You know how Goldfinger has my favorite one-liner from a villain? This one comes pretty close when Gustav is like, "You can't kill my dreams, but my dreams can kill you." Dang. And then he continues to talk about facing destiny, and then Bond says, "Time to face gravity." That's, again, really awesome. Henchmen. The henchmen are all memorable. The girl, who I can't remember the name of, but I remember her being there as a henchman, does a good job. When she versus Halle Berry, I'd say that's pretty cool. Zhao is a pretty good henchman. I mean, he does what he needs to do, and his final fight scene with Bond could have had a little bit more physical fighting instead of a car chase, but still pretty good. Mr. Kill is there for a couple of minutes. I think he's there more to have a laugh. But he still does a good job. I mean, all the henchmen do a really good job, I think. So all the characters in general do a average or a good job. So for that reason, I give characters a star, because they do pretty well. So all in all, I give Die Another Day 10 out of 10 or 5 out of 5 for you at home. Now, one thing I've always also learned is that people can have different opinions. And if you don't like this film, you've addressed enough where I can understand why. But at the same time, should that ruin it for you? I don't think so, to be totally honest. Bunch of other people down here. So yeah, I've seen a lot of reviews where a lot of people don't like this film, but I do. I really like Die Another Day. And I've actually seen questions where it's like, does anybody actually like Die Another Day? I'll probably be those people who'll be like, yes, I do. I like Die Another Day. I do. Because I can kind of understand where these people are coming from with their complaints, but for me, I really don't care. It's a Bond film. It does its job as a Bond film, and a pretty good job at that. So, yeah, nothing more to say there. I'm still bleeding. Wonderful. So, this has been Solomon Pleasant. What's next time? Okay, we're getting a reboot. Apparently Die Another Day forced us to go into reboot. Wonderful. Thank you for making me feel worse. And our first time is Daniel Craig. Alright. We are almost done. We have like 3 left, counting the one I just showed you right there. This is going to be interesting what I think of that one. Going to be interesting. Yeah. So, this has been Solomon Pleasant, signing off.